66 million years ago, the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs also wiped out 75% of all life on Earth. But in the ocean, something survived, and over the next 60 million years, it would evolve into the largest and most powerful predator the seas have ever known. This is the story of Megalodon, a shark so massive, so dominant, that for nearly 20 million years, nothing in the ocean could challenge it. And then, without warning, it vanished. Scientists have spent decades trying to understand how such a perfect killing machine could simply disappear. The answer reveals one of the most important lessons in evolutionary history. No matter how powerful you are, the world can still leave you behind. For centuries, people found massive triangular teeth buried in cliff sides and ocean floors. Some thought they were dragon tongues turned to stone. Others believed they were the fangs of ancient sea serpents. But in 1667, a Danish scientist named Nicholas Steno made a radical observation. These fossilized objects weren't magical relics. They were shark teeth larger than a human hand. If the teeth were this big, Steno realized the shark itself must have been enormous. He was right, but even he couldn't have imagined just how enormous. The name Megalodon means big tooth, and it's an accurate description. A single megalodon tooth can measure over 7 inches in length. That's 3 times larger than the tooth of a modern great white shark, and we've found thousands of them. From the coasts of North America to Europe, Australia, Africa, and South America. Wherever warm, shallow seas existed between 23 and 3.6 million years ago, Megalodon was there. It wasn't just widespread, it was everywhere. But teeth are all we have. Sharks have skeletons made of cartilage, not bone, and cartilage doesn't fossilize well. So we don't have a complete Megalodon skeleton. No intact skull, no full jaw, just teeth, and a few fossilized vertebrae. That might seem like a problem, but those teeth tell us almost everything we need to know. By comparing Megalodon teeth to the teeth of living sharks, scientists can estimate the size of the animal, and the numbers are staggering. Most estimates place Megalodon between 50 and 60 feet in length. That's longer than a school bus. Some individuals may have reached 70 feet and weighed as much as 50 tons. To put that in perspective, a great white shark, one of the ocean's top predators today, averages 15 to 20 feet. Megalodon was 3 times longer and up to 10 times heavier. But size isn't everything. What made Megalodon truly terrifying was its bite. Modern great whites have a bite force of around 4,000 pounds per square inch. Orcas, the ocean's current apex predator, bite with about 19,000 pounds of force. Megalodon. Estimates range from 40,000 to over 100,000 pounds per square inch. That's the strongest bite force of any animal that has ever lived. Strong enough to crush the skull of a prehistoric whale in a single snap. Strong enough to bite through bone like it was soft tissue. And Megalodon didn't just bite once. Fossil evidence shows that it targeted large prey with surgical precision. Whale bones have been found with Megalodon bite marks carved into the flippers, tail, and vital organs. This wasn't random. Megalodon attacked strategically. It disabled its prey first, then finished the job. This level of hunting intelligence, combined with raw power, made Megalodon the ocean's undisputed ruler. During the Miocene and Pliocene epochs, the oceans were warmer and more productive than they are today. Nutrients from volcanic activity and ocean currents created rich feeding grounds. And in these waters, whales thrived. Not just small whales, massive baleen whales, some stretching 50 feet or longer. These whales were slow, predictable, and packed with blubber. For a predator like Megalodon, they were the perfect prey. Fossil evidence shows that Megalodon hunted whales regularly. Bite marks on fossilized whale bones match the spacing and depth of Megalodon teeth. In some cases, entire sections of bone are missing, sheared clean off. This suggests Megalodon didn't just scavenge. It killed actively, and it killed often. One study estimated that a single adult megalodon would need to consume around 2,500 pounds of food per day to sustain its metabolism. That's roughly one large whale per month, or several smaller prey animals per week. But Megalodon didn't just eat whales. Fossil evidence suggests it also hunted large fish, dolphins, seals, and even other sharks. Megalodon was an opportunistic feeder. If it moved and had meat, Megalodon would eat it. And because of its size and power, very few animals could fight back. For nearly 20 million years, Megalodon sat at the top of the marine food chain, unchallenged, unmatched, unstoppable. But around 5 million years ago, something began to change. The Earth entered a period of gradual cooling. Polar ice caps started to expand, ocean currents shifted, and sea levels began to drop. These changes happened slowly, over hundreds of thousands of years, but they had a profound impact on marine ecosystems. The warm, shallow coastal seas that Megalodon preferred started to shrink, and the whales that Megalodon relied on began to adapt. Baleen whales evolved to migrate. Instead of staying in warm tropical waters year-round, they began traveling between feeding grounds in cold polar regions and breeding grounds in warmer areas. This migration was an advantage. Polar waters were rich in nutrients. Krill, plankton, and small fish thrived there. Whales that could tolerate the cold had access to abundant food. But Megalodon couldn't follow. It was too large, too specialized, and its metabolism required warm water to function efficiently. As the oceans cooled and whales migrated, Megalodon's primary food source began to slip away. At the same time, new predators were rising. Around 6 million years ago, early ancestors of modern great white sharks appeared. These sharks were smaller, faster, and more adaptable. They could hunt in cooler waters. They could survive on smaller prey. And they didn't need the massive caloric intake that Megalodon did. Orcas also began to evolve into more sophisticated hunters. They hunted in ponds, coordinated attacks, and shared food. This made them more efficient than a solitary giant like Megalodon. By 3.6 million years ago, Megalodon was gone, completely extinct. There's no evidence of Megalodon teeth or remains anywhere in the fossil record after this point. For a species that dominated the oceans for nearly 20 million years, the extinction was sudden. Geologically speaking, it happened in the blink of an eye. So what killed Megalodon? The answer isn't a single event. It's a combination of factors. First, the changing climate reduced Megalodon's hunting grounds. Warm, shallow seas disappeared. Second, the migration of whales removed Megalodon's primary food source. Third, increased competition from smaller, more adaptable predators put pressure on Megalodon populations. And fourth, Megalodon's biology worked against it. Large animals reproduce slowly. Megalodon likely had long gestation periods and small litter sizes. If populations started to decline, they couldn't recover quickly. When the environment shifted, Megalodon simply couldn't adapt fast enough. Some scientists believe that Megalodon's nursery habitats also disappeared. Young Megalodon sharks likely grew up in shallow, protected coastal areas where they could hunt smaller prey and avoid adult predators. But as sea levels dropped, these nurseries vanished. Without safe places to grow, juvenile survival rates would have plummeted. And without new generations, the species collapsed. Today, Megalodon is gone, but its legacy remains. It stands as a reminder that no species, no matter how dominant, is immune to extinction. Being the strongest doesn't guarantee survival. Being the biggest doesn't guarantee success. In evolutionary terms, adaptability is more valuable than power. The great white shark survived. The orca survived. But Megalodon, the ultimate predator, did not. And yet, Megalodon still captures our imagination. It appears in documentaries, films, and legends. Some people believe it's still out there, hiding in the deep ocean. But science is clear. Megalodon is extinct. If it were alive, we would see evidence. Bite marks on modern whales, teeth washing ashore, sonar detections. We see none of that. The ocean is vast, but it's not vast enough to hide a 60-foot shark that needs to eat a whale every month. What Megalodon teaches us is this: evolution doesn't care how powerful you are. It cares how well you adapt. The world changes, climates shift, food sources migrate, and if you can't keep up, you disappear. Megalodon ruled the oceans for 20 million years, but in the end, the world moved on, and Megalodon couldn't follow. This was the rise and fall of the greatest predator the ocean has ever known. A shark so large, so powerful, that for millions of years, nothing could challenge it, until the world itself became the challenge.